away for a couple of weeks, but we are glad we are back on your screens. Welcome to the Business Roundup Special Edition, hosted by yours truly, Danny Sigoa. To the highlights, MPs on Budget Committee want revenue leakages sealed. Uganda showcases its niche in investment in regional and international events. What are the expected midterm and long-term benefits of NAM and G77 summits? We have an exclusive interview, and on the regional scene, we take stock of the Central Corridor's half-year performance. We have rich content in store for you. Flip the channel at your own risk. On scrutinizing the budget projection for the year 2024-2025 financial year, MPs on the Budget Committee have asked government to consider, as part of its sources of income, non-taxed areas and those with revenue leakages. This, they say, will bridge the budgetary gaps that have kept several key priorities unfunded. Daniel Mugoya captured the proceedings.
In the last meeting we had
thick and thin, the government, through the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, are defending the proposed budget estimates for the next financial year 2024-2025.
The Chairman, and this committee must be very serious. Every budget process, you have the ministers coming with the corogenda. Last year, you remember, we are about to present Parliament a report. Then they came running with the corogenda. Musa says, now you're going to begin looking very bad because you are here complaining when you are with us. Now you will be the one carrying those corogendas to Parliament.
My ministry has proposed allocations, and the realistic estimates for all programs will be appropriated by Parliament after I have submitted the detailed estimates of revenue and expenditure later in April to 2024.
The Parliamentary Budget Committee on Wednesday raised queries relating to leakages in revenue collection, which dents the consolidated fund.
We have areas that during the sector committee presentation, areas of revenue, that the Minister of Finance, year in, year out, since we enacted this act, has not addressed.
Maybe we need to think as leaders, going forward, these monies we allocate for going abroad for treatment, why don't we allocate it to strengthen further our own institutions?
Exactly.
We need to have this conversation.
Led by the chairperson, Patrick Isiaji, the MPs claim that the revenue collection from Entebbe Express road toll does not tally with the information declared to the committee.
Under the Public Finance Management Act, if you get that receipt of road toll, it has no relation with URA. The code is not linked, and the road toll team declared, I think, collection of 7 billion shillings. That operation is totally legal because the date for the road toll is the date to government of Uganda. Yes. Another source of revenue which has been going on.
Road toll for Entebbe Expressway.
Yes. Secondly,
and the airport also is that
and the airport. Billions have been collected for all the last many years by one company collecting revenue as we enter the airport. The number of vehicles entering there. URA has failed to account for that resource. That is an illegal operation.
In 2020, Parliament approved the creation of 15 new cities and 7 started operations. However, the respective authorities have over time blamed government for failing to fund the operationalization of the cities, which require 1 billion shillings each. As the MPs scrutinized the 52 trillion shillings national budget estimates for financial year 2024-2025, the question of funding for the new cities arose.
Because there is no difference between the municipality. You have only created even a bigger problem by annexing other areas which were getting revenue, better revenue. Now they are there stuck with us, and we look really so bad.
These cities are struggling with the districts from where they were created because the districts have failed to relocate.
But government fronts some priorities which have put aside the funding for the new cities.
Our position is the priorities of government are the following: security, amasanyarazi, infrastructure n'ebirala.
We now have PDM. Some people, the chairman is not happy that it has money. He's saying we are just spending it. But that PDM is a very important intervention because it's going to deepen financial inclusion.
Among the queries also included why government has not set aside funds in preparations for the forthcoming Africa Cup of Nations, which Uganda will co-host with Kenya and Tanzania in 2027.
You're requested to...
Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gutabinji, UBC News.
Kampala City recently hosted the East African Trade and Investment Forum. The event presented an immense opportunity to showcase the country's investment niche to the world. Let's have a look. Uganda is ranked among the top investment destinations in the African continent and guarantees investors value for money. Represented by the Vice President, Jessica Lupu, at the East African Trade and Investment Forum, President Museveni highlighted Uganda's niche and diverse areas of investment.
Uganda's GDP per capita now stands at US dollars 1,100. That is fast rising and thus promising a sustainable market for local production and fast-moving consumer goods and services, making the country highly rewarding for foreign direct investment. On account of prudent macroeconomic management, Uganda continues to enjoy a stable macroeconomic environment characterized by low inflation, now at 2.6%, stable currency, and high sustained growth. Uganda's economic outlook is very optimistic. This is mainly because of the consistent support to the private sector through supportive policies that create a business-friendly environment.
The Finance Minister, Matia Kasaija, mentioned some of Uganda's global recognitions.
1. Award for the best investment catalyst in the world, Go Global Awards in Rhode Island, USA 2023. 2. Third most rewarding economy to invest in Africa, the most attractive economy to invest in within East African community. And this is being said by Oxford Economics of 2023. 3. Best investment destination in East Africa, Annual Investment Meeting Awards, Abu Dhabi in 2023.
Despite shocks such as the COVID-19 pandemic and other external factors, Uganda's economy ranks among the fastest growing economies and is projected to register a GDP growth of 6.0% in 2024.
In order to assist investors, Uganda has also made several strides to improve the general business environment. These include streamlined tax procedures, improved infrastructure, specifically electricity, and development of human resource. Our commitment to good governance, transparency, and the rule of law ensures a stable and a predictive business environment.
The development partners at the summit urged government to focus more on niche sectors or low-hanging fruits such as tourism and agriculture.
Trade and investment and tourism offer us a unique opportunity to generate employment, and I could hear somebody talk about that in earlier conversation, unlock market opportunities, capital and financing necessary to expand economic growth opportunities, drive technological advancement, and accelerate progress of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, Agenda 2063 of the African Union.
The theme of this forum, deeper cooperation in trade, tourism and investment for shared global affluence, encapsulates, I think, our shared vision for a prosperous future. And I firmly believe that initiatives like this are instrumental in mobilizing higher levels of private investments and creating new business opportunities in Uganda. Micro, small and medium enterprises are the backbone of Uganda's economy, but they face the critical challenge of limited access to affordable financing. And it is within this context that business forums emerge as a pivotal platform for fostering jobs creation and sustainable economic growth.
Government of Uganda is undertaking significant reforms to streamline processes, reduce bureaucratic hurdles, and to improve the investment environment. The NAM and G77 plus China summits did not only bring short-term benefits. We're yet to see the mid-term and long-term benefits. Mark Arnold Wadulo has an insight in this exclusive BRU interview.
Hello and welcome to this exclusive interview for the Non-Aligned Movement Summit and the G77 exclusive. We've been doing a number of exclusive interviews with various stakeholders, especially here at Entebbe International Airport. So today I'm honored to announce that we are going to be interviewing Mr. Chizige, or let me say Ambassador Chizige Moses Kawaluko, the Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary for the Republic of Uganda in Moscow. You're very welcome and thank you for honoring our invite. Ambassador.
Thank you. It's a pleasure having you, UBC, and I want to thank you for the job well done in publicizing the activities of the Non-Aligned Movement Summit and the G77 plus China Summit. It's been a good job you've done. I'm sure many Ugandans who have been following appreciate what's happening.
Knowing that you're representing us in Moscow and, you know, on the international scene, I would love to find out how the Non-Aligned Movement Summit and the G77 Summit plus China, how do these holding these conferences in Uganda benefit us in the long run? Because I don't want to think that it's just the hosting that we are going to benefit from. I feel like there's more that maybe we need to know and perhaps position ourselves. But would you mind enlightening us?
We've interacted with delegates, and when you talk to them, they say, I must come back to Uganda. So we can see in the short run, we can see numbers of tours increasing significantly in Uganda. But most important of all, Uganda is going to chair the Non-Aligned Movement and G77. In the history of the two organizations, this is the first country that is going to chair the two simultaneously. What does that mean? Because politics is about caucusing, especially business in the UN General Assembly is about caucusing. Our permanent representatives will have side meetings every time on any issue that comes on the floor of the United Nations to be voted on by the General Assembly or the Security Council. The Non-Aligned Movement caucus will sit as a caucus and take a position, and Uganda will be chairing. The G77 will also sit and take a position, and Uganda will be chairing. So we have an opportunity, a real opportunity, for the next 3 years to influence what happens globally in our global politics. We shall be listening to. That is very, very important, especially for us in politics and in diplomacy. It's very, very important. We see many things come to Uganda as a result of this.
I see that climate change, poverty eradication, economic integration are some of these things. Of course, also political geotensions between different countries are some of the objectives that these conferences are addressing. To what extent do you think Uganda can actually head or lead this voice?
You know, we come with a wealth of experience of a leader who is globally recognized as a real leader. Somebody who does a lot of research, somebody who does a lot of reading, somebody who is widely knowledgeable. So when President Museveni is discussing any matter, he just doesn't rush into it. He has already done research on it. Many of the things he has experienced, so he gives guidance according to his own experience and the research he has done. So we shall take advantage of his wealth of experience to lead the globe in all these issues. And I'm sure they will really follow us significantly. But beat borders, beat everybody. I'm sure people with hotels have put in some bit of money, which is good for our country. So this is the nature, this is the sort of life we should be experiencing when we are hosting visitors here. We talk one common language and we move and we market our country globally. I want to thank every Ugandan. Most especially so, I want to thank the President, Cabinet, the National Organizing Committee, and the people I've worked with specifically at the two airports here, the commercial terminal and the VVIP terminal. We've done a wonderful job, and congratulations to everybody. Thank you.
Uganda Coffee Development Authority has urged farmers in the north to embrace coffee growing as a major cash crop that can impact greatly in the diversification of household incomes, unlike the short-term crops grown in the area like simsim, maize and sunflower. Chris Pasarenaitwe has the details.
This field mission to Lango and Acholi sub-regions by Uganda Coffee Development Authority is to upscale coffee growing and production to bring about macroeconomic stability.
As you know, about 5 years ago, we set ourselves to produce up to 20 million 60 kilogram bags of coffee annually. And we are traveling that journey to make that dream come true. And the reason why you spend resources to support the promotion of coffee in northern Uganda is that it presents a very unique opportunity for the expansion of the land under coffee growing. As you know, coffee has been traditionally grown in central Uganda, western Uganda, eastern Uganda. And those areas have got a limitation in terms of how far can we go in expanding the area under coffee. But northern Uganda presents therefore a very strategic opportunity, is that it's a new crop and the land is available.
A cross-section of coffee farmers we visited in northern Uganda have indeed identified coffee as a major cash crop to generate enough income capable of alleviating poverty in the region.
This coming harvest season, I want to tell you that if I get less than 30 million shillings, then I will not be happy. We still have land which is still unutilized, and coffee can take that portion. I want to inform members that in some near future, mid-northern Uganda will be the coffee basket for this country.
It's very good because if you to compare with the, for instance, maize is now 500 per kilo, but this one, someone is talking of 4,000 per kilo. I think there's some big changes, and which is very so admired. I have big interest in coffee.
But now we have a challenge in northern Uganda. The talk of the day, simsim, soya, sunflower, maize, that is in their minds. And they have even a belief that our land, coffee cannot grow.
Coffee has been known for many years that is only for the areas in the central region and western. But the government is deliberately promoting coffee here. That's why the president established a demonstration farm just a few kilometers from here to demonstrate to the people of northern Uganda that that colonial mentality that coffee cannot grow in northern Uganda is the myth.
However, a change in weather patterns, coffee pests like the black coffee twig borer that devastate coffee plantations in northern Uganda, and lack of a functional coffee processing facility for value addition remain a challenge to coffee growing.
We have also emerging pests and diseases, for example, black coffee twig borers, currently devastating. And I think this is because we are sourcing planting materials from outside the district. We have lack of processing infrastructure in this region.
We are hoping to work together with you to ensure that we transform the lives of the people of Gulu and Acholi sub-region.
When you delve into the economics of this coffee crop, 1 kilogram of coffee beans contains around 5,000 coffee beans, yet you only need 8 coffee beans to brew a cup of coffee. Surprisingly, 1 cup of coffee costs around 10,000 Uganda shillings. Just imagine how much profit one earns. Crispus, Arinitwe, UBC TV.
4 suspects are in police custody for dealing in contraband cigarettes. The 4 were arrested in Wakiso district by URA enforcement officers after a tip-off which led them to a home that acts as a consolidation store. Let's have a look. 4 suspects are in custody for allegedly dealing in contraband cigarettes. The 4 were nabbed on Thursday evening in Senge Parish, Naluvule in Wakiso district.
One of the most smuggled products you may find today are products like cigarettes. Cigarettes, cooking oil, textiles are usually very big smuggled products because they also pay a lot of taxes. So we received intelligence officers that there was a store, usually we call them consolidation points, where people bring in smuggled goods and they will house them in a house like this one. So when it's time for distribution, they will take and do the distribution.
According to Uganda Revenue Authority, their mission was successful, but unfortunately they failed to apprehend about 6 more suspects who escaped on foot, leaving these 3 private cars behind, packed with oris and platinum-flavored cigarettes.
As we speak today, we have at least 4 people out of those who were here that have been apprehended. We have searched this place with the permission of the OC and the LCs to see if there are any other merchandise.
Over the years, the revenue body has beefed up security along Uganda's porous borders and also employed informers in order to stop smuggling of contraband merchandise into the country.
Smuggling is also very expensive. If you look at the East African Community Customs Management Act, if you're caught smuggling, the penalty will range from actually US$ 5,000. The means of conveyance, which is the car that has been doing so, will also be forfeited. So, and the products, if they cannot be sold on the market, in terms of auction, we will destroy them.
The 62 boxes of cigarettes that were captured in the operation could have led to a revenue loss of over 120 million shillings. And worst of all, the products don't conform to the laws of the country. According to URA, the unscrupulous businessmen will face the long arm of the law.
We've been realizing a lot of decline in terms of revenue. And that's why we've enhanced our intelligence across the country to ensure that those who are dealing in any illegal activity in cigarette are apprehended. So this operation is going on throughout the country, and in these boxes you see here alone, it has got a tax element of about 140 million shillings.
Uganda Revenue Authority's intent to closing revenue losses in order to meet the annual budget expenditures. The war against contraband in Uganda is a very difficult one, and this is based on the fact that the benefits to the smugglers and the dealers outweighs the risks. Sigoa in Wakiso district. In this BRU edition, we take stock of the Central Corridor's half-year performance, and of course the organization prides in adding 2 new countries into the bloc, and that is Malawi and Zambia. Let's have a look. Established as a multilateral agency in 2006 through an agreement among governments of Burundi, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Rwanda, Tanzania and Uganda, the Central Corridor Transit Transport Facilitation Agency has expanded its reach by admitting 2 member countries, Malawi and Zambia, marking a pivotal moment in its history. Executive Secretary Advocate Florio Kanjo highlighted this accomplishment, emphasizing the agency's commitment to improving lives and economies through seamless trade facilitation.
To have Malawi and Zambia, don't think that it was a simple. No. I traveled a lot to bring in Malawi and Zambia. We strategize. We spend a lot of resources. Finally, we have Malawi and Zambia. So this is a very good achievement for Central Corridor for this year.
The formal accession of Malawi and Zambia to the corridor was announced during the Central Corridor Interstate Council of Ministers meeting held in Dar es Salaam on 1st of December 2023. This strategic move further solidifies CCTTFA's regional influence and fosters collaborative efforts among member states.
We are doing the best to improve the efficiency and reduce the transport cost along the corridor
to improve the living standard of our people in our region.
On the continental stage, CCTTFA made significant strides by signing a memorandum of understanding with the African Continental Free Trade Area during the International Trade Fair in Cairo, Egypt. Advocate Florio Kanju represented CCTTFA in this crucial agreement, further aligning the corridor with the broader goals of continental trade cooperation.
The purpose of this memorandum of understanding is to join our effort together. The African Continental Free Trade Area, you know, they have a wide vision, wide zone of interventions. But we as a Central Corridor, we are there to connect the SADC, COMESA, and the EAC blocks. So we are working together, we agree together to partner and to facilitate trade, to promote transport, to promote border customs and the others aspect of facilitation of trade among the Central Corridor region.
In a key regional development, CCTTFA celebrated the handover and commissioning of 20 rehabilitated flatbed wagons, a move aimed at enhancing the Uganda Railway Corporation's cargo transportation capacity. The event, graced by General Katumba Wamala, Uganda's Minister of Works and Transport, marked a tangible improvement in the efficiency and reliability of the Central Corridor.
Uganda on the Central Corridor, we are the nexus. Actually, in all corridors, even the Northern Corridor, we are at the center of things. If we don't function, we are like the heart of the corridor. If the heart fails to function, the rest of the body will not function. If we can't move cargo from Mwanza to here, to go to Congo, to go to Sudan, to go to elsewhere, the corridor will choke.
The corridor's ambitions received a significant boost with the recent approval of a $696.4 million funding by the African Development Bank. This financial injection paves the way for the construction of a 650-kilometer standard gauge railway, phase 2 of the joint Tanzania-Burundi-DR Congo project.
To connect Tanzania, Burundi and DRC from Uvinza, Musongati, Gitega, Uvira to Kindu.
We received the mandate to coordinate the railway project, the regional railway project between 3 countries. Which are United Republic of Tanzania, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and the Republic of Burundi. The first works we received from the 3 countries was to recruit the consultant, which is in charge of feasibility study. This was done last year.
The development underscores CCTTFA's unwavering commitment to achieving its goals for the remainder of the 2023-24 financial year.
As you can realize, the United Republic of Tanzania is at the heart of the corridor. Allow me to reiterate that the investment that are being made in infrastructure, the improvement of the port of Dar es Salaam, all these have a significant and positive impact to trade and transport within our region.
It is evident that CCTTFA's expansion, strategic partnerships and infrastructure enhancements position the corridor as a driving force in improving trade and logistics throughout the region. The agency's wings are spreading wider, solidifying its commitment to fostering economic growth and connectivity. Sigoa for the Business Roundup. Uganda Wildlife Conservation Education Center, UWEC, is a fun and exciting place to see and learn about the animals of Uganda and the ecosystems in which they live in. The zoo in Entebbe was included in the NAM and the G77 plus China delegates' itinerary. Check this out in our Sounds of Business. Can you imagine January is also over and February, which is closely related to January, is starting? I'm hoping that as you are enjoying the festive season, you saved enough resources to take you through this school fees month. Thank you for being part of BRU. I've been your host, Sigoa. Let's catch up next week. Bye-bye.